Hello there, my name is Andrew Druckmann and I want to welcome you to the channel because today the reason why you clicked on that link is because you wanted to learn how to drive traffic to your website using Facebook. Guess what? You just came to the right place because that's exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Now, if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel because that's what we talk about here at Affiliate Magic. We talk about affiliate marketing and as well as marketing. And also something to keep in mind, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below that's going to teach you how to drive hundreds of customers to the front door of your business every single day and get unlimited traffic to your offer, regardless of whatever product and or services that you are selling. Now, without further ado, let's get into the action. So the very first tip I'm going to give you that's going to help you drive more traffic to your website is have a CTA, which is called call to action. So what's a call to action and why is this important? Now that's a really good question. So the whole point of a call to action is to give something to the viewer to tell them to do something, to give them an action. And so what does that entail? Well, it really kind of depends on the product or services or whatever it is that you're trying to promote, whatever you're selling. Now, the reason why for this example, I chose to go with Macy's is because they're very well known. It's 14 million followers. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of people, right? And Macy's is very well known. We all know Macy's. We've heard of Macy's. So that's why I think this might very well be a great example. Now, you don't necessarily have to just do this with physical products. You can do this with digital products as well. But for this example, I think this is going to be a pretty good example. So what a call to action is, again, is to tell the viewer to do something. In which case, this right here is an action, shop now. And the call to action could be a numerous amount of things. It could be, like you see, shop now. It could be click here, watch this, etc. And that's all it is what you're basically doing is you're telling the viewer to do something. And in this particular case, when you have a call to action like shop now, for example, and you click on shop now, now you're at their website. Does it? Right? Makes perfect sense. So I'm going to go ahead and close this website down because I just want to show that. That was the whole point of the call to action. So it's the very first thing. The second tip I'm going to give you is keep constantly posting blogs. Now, here's the thing about this when it comes to blogs. What you want to do, and the reason why you want to keep posting blogs and you want to keep posting content, and the more content you do and you're doing every single day and you're doing consistently, especially in whatever it is that you're selling and the more information you're giving, or in this particular case, right? Let's say I'm not going to personally buy a dress, obviously, but let's say I had a wife or a girlfriend and I see this, I'm saying, wow, I think this is something that she might like. And so then I will go over here and I'll look at this and I'll think, wow, I might want to click here because there's also a click here button, and oh, wait, copyright. Sorry, I didn't expect that to happen. I apologize about that. So yeah, I had to cut out the music for probably copyright issues. So here's the thing. So no matter the dress code, we've got options for all your wedding invites. See, this right here, just this blog post itself is actually very attractive. It's a very good. It's just really very nicely detailed. It's very nicely put together. So this is something like if I want to buy a dress for my wife or my girlfriend or whatever have you, this would make me want to buy it because they're giving me selections. And I think if you click here, which they have a link for you to click on, I think this actually even takes you to their website. See, that's another example of taking you to their website. So the more blog posts you put in your Facebook page, chances are the more chances are you're going to be able to reel people in with the more content that you post every single day, or at least somewhere close to every single day. Now, The very third thing, the next tip that I'm going to give you is ask questions. Now, why would you want to ask questions? So here's the whole point of when you're asking questions, whether it could be a fill in the blank, it could be a multiple choice, whatever it is in your respective category and whatever niche is or whatever it is that you are selling and or trying to promote. And the reason why you do this is because not only do you want to try to get more engagement, because this is another way of getting more engagement, but also at the same time, it gives you a chance to be able to see what it is that the viewer wants. I really hope that makes sense. But understand, whatever questions you ask, don't ask any random questions that's not within your niche. Obviously, whatever questions that you ask, whatever your content is, you want to make sure it's always very congruent with whatever it is that you're trying to sell, because you want to make sure that you're giving the right information about whatever product you're selling and or services, and giving as much free information as you possibly can and trying to make that offer as attractive as possible. Well, make your content as attractive as possible. Now, your content doesn't necessarily need to be like this attractive per se, but I just think this is a great example. Just something to think about. And the next thing I'll tell you is Facebook banner. Now, what is it about Facebook banner, and why would I put that as a tip? Well, this is where this might not have been a great example of this, or it could be. So here's the thing. The only thing that I will tell you to do is when you see, I'm just going to enlarge this a little bit. When you see a Facebook banner like this, what I will tell you to do is what I'll tell you to do is, other than spring favorites, right? Because right now, at the point in time that I'm actually recording this, we're in the month of May, right? So we're in spring, we're about to get into summer, and so this is how they're advertising right now, because they understand we're here in spring, so people are going to more than likely buy clothes for spring. They're going to buy fragrance, shoes, etc. The other thing I'll tell you to put on here, and obviously, just depending on what niche you're working, whatever the case might very well be, maybe throw in there, if you're able to, maybe, a 15% off, 10% off, or something like that. Because when you throw certain things like that in there, and you're able to do that and throw free stuff like that in there, it tends to pull people in, because people always like getting free stuff. And I hope that makes sense. And I noticed that you can actually click on this. So let's see what happens when we click on this. Click on the banner. Okay, it's not. Oh, okay, it's not really. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, but that's what I'm saying, though, is that, like, if you put in here, 15% off, 10% off, or you're put on here something that's giving the viewer a chance to get something for free, that is definitely going to put you in a better position to get more viewers to your website, and chances are be able to make a sale. Also, another thing I would suggest to do is run a contest. Now, here's the thing. This is kind of one of the things that I've noticed personally when I've watched YouTube videos, just for example, or you can even do this on Facebook. So you can do something like, after, it's like in the middle of a blog post, after you write out your content, whatever it looks like, and say you put on there saying, if you find the missing piece or something like that, whatever is relevant to your niche, whatever the product it is, whatever services that you're promoting, and you say, hey, if you can find this particular thing in this picture, or whatever the case might very well be, you get to win a prize. And it gives you a chance to also give something away for free, and it gets people to engage more. And when it comes to a contest, that can be kind of challenging, but it's something you just have to figure out how to be as creative as you possibly can. Now, last but not least, I know I'll always say this, another thing you can do is create a video, like a YouTube video, kind of like what I'm doing right now. It could be a YouTube video, a TikTok video, Because the thing about it, one of the things that I've noticed throughout time itself, even in my experience, is that video content have a tendency of having a lot of not only engagement, but can easily, if you post enough videos, you can get a lot of leads and you can convert them into sales. And video traffic has been known to do very, very well, whether it be YouTube video, TikTok. You can probably do Instagram. I will personally tell you, I personally think the two biggest platforms you could do today at this moment that I'm recording this video is YouTube and TikTok. You can't go wrong with that. You want to do Instagram or Facebook, you can do that. They're great traffic sources. They're absolutely. But when it comes to video traffic, I'm just more of a fan of YouTube and TikTok because I think those are some great platforms. But that's just my personal opinion. Take that however you will. Now that I've just shared with you some tips on how to drive traffic to your website using Facebook, that's the end of the video. If you got some value out of this, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Let me know if you got some value out of this. And let me know what you think. And also, as a reminder, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below that's going to give you free training so that this way you could drive hundreds of customers to the front door of your business every single day and get unlimited traffic to your offer. And I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.